Hello, my beautiful Intergoddess team fans. Deborah Roth here at Spirited Living, and delighted to be back with another summertime, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, goddess to explore this week. The last one we did was Electrona, I think. Yeah, not one I was familiar with, and the same with today. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm not wearing a lot of times because I believe so completely in the power of symbols, including colors and everything else, that I'm not wearing sun colors. But today I also offered up my virtual new moon sister circle in Cancer, which is a water sign. So I still have all my blues on. I love you folks, but I'm not going to do a couple costume changes. So, and I think our goddess today would appreciate that, being yet another independent, strong deity. So, as you know, when we come here in this space, and this has come up a couple times just in conversations with people over the last couple weeks, that my business is Spirited Living, and there's all kinds of branches from that. The women's circles that I do, the weddings that I officiate, my coaching for individuals and for couples, and I really feel like it's all grounded. The roots of my Spirited Living business are in the divine feminine. So this just seems like the most beautiful place to really accentuate those qualities of compassion and intuition, honoring our intuition and our emotions and our connection to nature, to our bodies. When you go to the YouTube video, which is posted usually on Thursday nights, there is a button you can click on the video there that will take you to a larger explanation of the power of the divine feminine, which is what we're zeroing in on in these Inner Goddess team videos, because we all embody that energy within us. So this week we're looking at a Chinese sun goddess, and her name, I hope I don't massacre it, is Xihe. It's you can see in the description, Xahe. Now, ironically, I am officiating 2 weddings within a month of each other for wonderful Chinese couples, and I could probably have reached out to them to make sure I was getting the pronunciation right. So please feel free to correct me. So Shee-heh she was the mother of 10 sons, is the way that her mythology reads. And those can be sons as in, hello, Alyssa. They can be sons as in sons in the sky, which is really what her story is about. And they can also be that they are her sons. And I've got a couple really beautiful, very sun-colored representations of what she does. So she carries the chariot of the sun. She carries the sun in her chariot across. She's the driver. She's the one that steers it all. So she has to have a lot of strength and balance. And you can see the main sun. I don't know how closely you can see. There were other representations, but I loved this one, that you can see different kinds of suns, but just barely. They take on kind of facial features. And she rides the sun. Every morning, one of her sons jumps up and says, I want to ride in the chariot with you. And so she carries them across all of the continents, and it's thought that she takes resting spots, and they begin in a mulberry tree, which is also called let's see, where do the suns dwell? Starts with an F. I'll find it somewhere. Each morning she chooses one of her 10 sons, and they're personified, interestingly enough, and here's another image of them, they live as 3-legged crows, which is apparently something that is a spiritual symbol, and starting in China, but then it spread throughout India and Europe and the Near East. They are emissaries of the divine, 3-legged crows. So she picks one to accompany her from where they are roosting. I will find it. Blah, blah, blah. 12, darn it. I'll keep looking for it. Sometimes it's said that that the chariot is pulled by 10 dragons. Sometimes it's by 10 horses. And they, what the mythology, which actually led to one of the major celebrations in China, the Mid-Autumn Festival, the mythology, one of the biggest myths around it is that at some point, all 10 sons decided that they wanted to ride in her chariot, in her carriage. And so they jumped in, but the problem with that, of course, is that it was too much sun for the earth. It started burning, and she's carrying these 10 sons across with her. It started burning the earth, which of course none of the deities in any tradition want the earth to be destroyed, because that's where all their followers are. So she called on her husband. She's married to, she's one of 2 wives of Dejin, and he's an ancient agricultural god. He had several children with each of his wives. His second wife, Changxi, was the mother of 12 moons. So she's described that so what happens when Dejin sees this and says, oh, we can't have these, we can't destroy the earth. He calls on Xihe, the Lord Archer, to save the world from his children. So he's a sacred archer. And he tries to reason with the sons at first, and they don't listen to him because they want to go on this ride. They flew on, they burn even more land, and with no choices left, Xihe, who begins to shoot them down with his magical arrows. And one by one, they fall until eventually one remains. And the king of China at that point, the emperor, and Shee-heh, plead with Xihe, to spare the last son so that humankind can continue to have son. And some of the stories claim that the people of China were so grateful for Xihe that they asked him to be their king. He took the throne. However, unfortunately, as can often happen, power corrupts, and he became corrupt and greedy. And there was a point when he was given in gratitude, he was given an elixir of immortality. And there are a whole bunch of versions around this. And I will actually include this likely in the YouTube description. His wife, Huyi's wife, is Chang'e, who is a moon goddess. And she saw what was going on and said, oh, if he drinks this elixir of immortality, we'll never get rid of him and his increasing evil. So she drinks it, she ascends to the moon and becomes connected with the moon. There's some other very pretty versions of that. One of them in a video that I did about Chang'e and the Mid-Autumn Festival. That's the celebration that originally comes out of the story that we're talking about today, of the goddess that we're talking about today, which is Xihe. Going back several iterations, our goddess today, our sun goddess that we're talking about today, is the originator of this Mid-Autumn Festival that's still celebrated today with great fanfare. Now, I'm still trying to find where the birds, okay, here we go. Over the course of the sun's journey, it claimed to cross 9 continents, and then it enters into a stream that returns to Fusang in the east, which is on the tree that these 3-legged crows / 10 sons reside, and they jump on and on the bandwagon, on the sun wagon every morning. And in some stories about her, in some of the folklore, she's just called a female attendant. I like to think, of course, that she has much more to do and say. She's much more significant than that, because the sun would never get anywhere if it didn't have this beautiful carriage to carry it. So, interesting. So this was another one I'd forgotten about. In one of the stories, of the suns, the crows often dove to earth to eat grasses of immortality. There's the immortality theme again. When they did so, they went off course and burned the ground. So Xihe put blindfolds on them so that they wouldn't take off and all decide they were going to go wipe out the earth with fire. So they're troublesome nowadays. According to the myth, there is one sun that remains after Xihe shoots down the rest of them. So what do we draw from that? What are we in modern times? Why is this meaningful to us? And I think, as I said, in the Northern Hemisphere, we're celebrating summer, which is really a time, an expansive time. It's a time where we, I think, I mean, at least I do, can really tap into our strength and our brilliance, literally, brilliance, and illuminate all those things that are connected with what the sun does for us, what the sun does for humankind, and to really claim the strength that it takes for Shee-heh to carry this important mission every morning. And so she represents the balance of light and dark. And we can take that metaphorically as well. Where do you need support and help to balance that in your life? Likewise, the themes of strength and illumination and brilliance, intensity, all of those words are ways, and all of those energies are ways that we can call on Shee-heh for support. So I don't have a chant. If you want to listen to one of my sun chants, you can listen to the one that I did a couple weeks ago. But what I'd love to do is just take you on the very, very shortest, one of my favorite sun meditations. So I just invite you to settle in for a moment, literally just a moment, and just take a breath. Come into your being. I often do this. There's a spot in my New York City apartment where the sun comes through an alleyway. It's like a sundial. And I sometimes, if I can't get outside, I will sit there, and when the sun comes in, you obviously can do this outside, just take a moment to literally call in the sun through your crown chakra. Let the rays, the warmth, the beauty, the brilliance, the illumination of the sun enter into your whole being. Let it enter into your crown, through your crown, and really burn away, delicately, gently, burn away whatever doesn't serve you. And bring that sun, bring the sun's energy, bring Shee-heh into your heart. Hold that idea of the inner sun within you. And when you feel like you need to tap into that brilliance, that vibrancy with illuminating intuition, you could even just tap on your heart and invoke and call on Shee-heh. So that's my offering for you this day, no chance, and delighted to share this one with you. Go out and enjoy summer, those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, and enjoy and watch as Shee-heh carries her chariot across the sky. Thanks for being here. Namaste.